Welcome to the 5-point series for Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. We're picking up on the 28th of May 1958, which is only a few days on from the end of the last part. And in this part I want to do two things. I want to sort out my road junctions over here so we can start planning our what you could call our first proper town in the game. And the other thing I want to do is get the bitumen, or the what they call it here, the wood pitch extraction plant, operational, so that we can start producing some bitumen, which we can then export to the border, give us a chance to make a little bit more cash, because you can see at the moment we're kind of losing money at the moment because we are building stuff. Now, before we get into working on the road junctions, I just want to show you something. It's quite interesting because we're on the 25th of May and we are still actually sowing fields up here, because these fields here have just managed to get 50% fertility. And what's actually happening is they're actually being sown. Now, the possibility of these actually reaching full crop size this winter is pretty low. I'm just going to be very curious to see whether the fact that these fields have been sown and there'll be crops growing in them, and I just wonder whether that is going to improve the overall fertility of the field for next year. So this experiment is getting quite interesting actually. Now before I get down into the detail of this area, I'm just going to pause the game, because what I want to do is a little bit of design. Because what I want to do is actually design a couple of junctions which I want to use in my motorway system. And for that end, what I'm going to do is just press F2. And I want to go across the map. Oh, look at that. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Because I want to build a junction here orientated to, if we get rid of that and press F1. And what I want to do is build a three-way junction to start with. And what I'm going to use this area for is my kind of keeper area for junctions, which I'm going to use for my motorway layout. Eventually I'll probably have about 3 junctions here, but the first one I want to build is a press F1 so that we can get the, I'm just going to come here, oops, turn off F4 because I want the spacing as close together. Now one of the big difference between this, what I'm doing now, and the video I did before, in the previous one where I was actually demonstrating this technique, I was just auto building the stuff because it was for demonstration purposes. Of course, this time we're working in template mode. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come into here, press E key 3 times because we can get the height. Take F1 off, so that because what I want to do is try and stretch this junction as far as I can, because what I want to do is bring this over. I don't know if I press Q once, so we can get a little bit of drop of height over the bridge. So we may have to, and then we're going to go all the way down to the ground like that. Probably going to need to extend this out this way a bit. So yeah, I mean, it's easier to do these junctions if you keep the underlying road absolutely dead straight. And what I want to do now is we're going to have to press F1 again, come off that like that, and press F4 because we're going to need the one-way roads. This is where it can get I think what we'll do is we'll come off like that. Well, that went in pretty tight. And then we're gonna pick that junction in like that. Now, one of the downsides of this is I'm not sure we can. Oh, we can actually reverse the direction. because it gets quite difficult to actually see where you're actually building things when you're building in template mode. I think I can. We will stick to the snapping. And what I want to do now is, because we've got the road that will go this way, the road will come down here. Because of course eventually this will. I'm not going to put the one-way system on the highways to begin with. What we'll do is just leave it the way it is, because the game will sort itself out over time. And now these are going to be relatively low speed roads. So, and what I'm trying to do is keep the junction fairly tight, like that, in there. And then okay, that's not going to work. Take the snapping off so that we can bring that out a little bit, kind of freestyle. And just come down here, and you can come there. Then we'll just trim this back like that, so that it's a bit more compact from the perspective of laying out like that. Just to check the directionality. Yep, I think we're good. Just gonna accept that. So that's the first junction we're going to build. Now the question is where we're going to put it. What I'd like to do, I'm kind of rethinking this area. So what we're going to do is take out, I don't like the way that this is kind of squeezing in on the railway line here. So I think we'll just trim this back a little bit to about there. Take out this here. So we've got some clear space. So I think I'll replace this roundabout. Now the question is whether this will copy in template mode. And have to let the game run a little bit. I think it still thinks that there's stuff here. Or is there... it's probably down to the fact that... Yeah, I think the game still thinks there's a little bit there. But I think if we can put that... I want a bit of an angle. So say we put this about here. I think that will work. And of course this is asphalt because it makes it a little bit easier to work, but we can now come out here. There's a little bit of highway left over there. Get rid of that. Say this one, we're building gravel road. I'm going to turn off F4 because I'd like this to be a little bit more close together. Maybe we'll trim this back a little bit. Yeah, actually. Maybe we're... I think maybe we will go to snapping. Something like that. Don't like that little bit of a quick squiggle kink in the road there. I want like this to be as relatively smooth as possible. And what that will do is we can then come in here. And this road can come up to there. What that will do is create an access road into here. As I say, I think eventually I'll replace this with a motorway crossover type section here, so that we got the motorway going out that way, like that. Just clear that out. Just let the game run, or was it already running? So we've got the first junction put in here. It gives us access to this area here. Now the next thing I want to do is trim this back and to about here. And I think what we'll do now is just do a little bit of work on the, so I want to see whether, right, we've got a delivery of logs. So what we're going to need now is a couple of buses. How big's the workforce here? 60. Well, we're not going to have, can't afford 60 people in here. Use this down to about 15, like that. Actually, how many jobs have you got? You've got absolutely one job. You're building a small garbage den. Right, what I want to do is start to get this and this built, because I think what we need to do is get some gravel production going now, because that one now I know gravel isn't that valuable from the point of view of exports, but what it does do is if we start producing our own gravel, it means that once we start building some roads, one, we won't be paying for gravel anymore, and two, which is more important, we won't get loads of gravel trucks going in here clogging up the main highway. Now what I need is, how much money we got? 196,000 rubles. I want a bus. I sort by capacity. What do we want here? I'm looking for, actually might go for speed actually. What have we got here? We got a cheap truck here for 85. We've got the Gaz Triple A with 16 passengers on it, with a top speed of 70. I actually quite like this. In fact, we got this one here, which has got 7 passengers. I'm wondering whether it'd be more profitable to. Now, I think what we'll do is we'll get a couple of these. Just let the game run. I want to check here. Right, the waste system's not overloaded, because another thing we're going to need to think about is water supply out here as well. Simply because eventually what I need to do here is also, we got the concrete plant here, and what I'm thinking is to pull some water in, because we've got to supply water to the concrete plant. Just to show you that, you can see here we need water, but the required water quality is only 55%. So we could get the water from a small pump rather than actually pumping it all the way across from over there. And in fact, I'm kind of wondering if we can get this really short, because there's a substation going out there to there. So if, say for example, I put in so we put a small water well in here, because the water supply is there, that would be in range of the power. How much water would this actually produce? 70 cubic meters of water. I think what we're going to do is we're going to keep this really tight and compact. So put you there. We're going to just hook you into there like that. Now there will be an issue here with respect. Actually, I've just had a change of mind. I think what we will do is we'll put a come in here. This can produce 70. No, I think we'll keep it simple. Just going to supply. And what I'm thinking is we put a water switch in. We're going to need a pump, aren't we? Okay, change of plan. I'm not thinking properly here. Let me just see. I need a bit more space so that I can put things in. I think we'll actually put the water pump here. Was the road? Yeah, if we put the pump about there, like that, and then we put in a large pumping station in, like that. Yeah, I think this will work. Then we put a water switch in as well, and then we can run a big pipe into there, pipe into there, and then a pipe into there. Just accept that. What that will mean is that we can get water from there. That can feed into the concrete plant. That also gives us options. Say that, for example, we want to clean water, we can put a small treatment plant out here as well and get that done. Yeah, I think what we're going to need to do is build this road first, but it's not exactly that high priority at the moment. 4th of June. So this is quite interesting, the fact that this guy's still sowing. And we're actually sowing on the 4th of June. There's no way these fields are going to be finished by... that one's actually... That one's just finished. But there's no way these crops are going to mature by the end of the year. Okay, let me just see. Where's the... Right, we've now got you... Where's the bus stop? Pick up, only pick up workers. And you're going to go to the bitumen plant. Drop off workers. And then what we'll do is come here. And we'll just have the two running backwards and forwards. Put on the line spacing. And hopefully what we'll get then is a little bit of exports going, which will make us a little bit more cash. Let me do it. And then hopefully we can get the rest of this built in here with the storage over time. I get things done. Right, so I think overall we're doing okay. Got a new vehicle type. What on earth is this? Well, the other thing I've also got down here is I've realized that I had a pile of crops in here while these were running out. So I've got these trucks are delivering the crops from the fields here into here. If we've got any workforce in here yet. Nope. Oh, we got our first workforce in here. Using a little bit of bitumen. We're gonna need... Oh, we got these guys. I think what we'll do is... What's your carry capacity? 7.5 tons. 5-point medium custom shed. Unload bitumen. I think at the moment we're not really dishing out that much in the way of fuel. So if I load, what's the capacity here? 20 tons. So we're going to let that build up to about 50% before we, or say 40%. So basically what these guys will do is pick up full loads, so they're not running backwards and forwards carrying just a couple of tons of stuff. The other thing that I had was building, I was over here somewhere and I can't remember where it is. I put another hunting hut in. Oh, there it is there. So let's get that. I want that second hunting hut built so that we can produce a bit more meat and get that there. And then what we'll do is we'll put in a meat store. The other thing I also want to check is, oh, we're nearly there, 69%. I would like to get this finished in this part, and once it's actually finished, we're going to play a little bit of a guessing game. And I'm going to try and predict where I think the resources are. So it could be a little bit interesting, because I think I've got a vague idea where the resources are. Anyway, back up to here. So we've got this junction here. What I want to do now is build a crossover junction. So we're just going to come up to here again. Actually, just going to let the game run slowly so it doesn't do anything crazy while I'm not paying attention. Again, we're just going to have to use the asphalt roads. Put you in there. Now this time what we're going to is this junction is going to be a little bit more complex, because what we're going to have to do is 1 2 3 2 3 4 5. Take that off. Take off F4 as well, because it's trying. Actually, we can just put you onto F1. That actually works a little bit better. 1 2 3. And again, we're just going to put that there so I can line it up with the actually that I think we're flip my finger just at the last moment. It's not good. I think this one we're going to 1 2 3. This one we're just going to go over like this, so the bridge looks a little bit more uniform, because at the end of the day this one doesn't really kind of need to be how can you say, anything fancy, because this is just going to be a simple crossover. Although that said, there's no such thing as a simple crossover. It looks like this one might have a problem with the landing. Okay, we're gonna have to redo this one. That didn't come all the way down to the ground. Sometimes what actually happens is the game, because the terrain isn't 100% level, the game will have a bit of a problem with respect to the actual grounding. Now comes the fun bit, because what we've got is a two-way road crossing this road, and what we've got to do now is put a series of curves in. Take that on, take that off, put that back to there, and what we're going to have to do is game you are not playing. It's actually not. This is where I think we'll have to accept the template. Don't think this will. This is where life gets a little bit more difficult with respect to the actual road junction. I think if we I want this to be, gonna have to kind of go out a little bit further than I was hoping for. And then, yeah, we'll pick that out. No, let's get the snapping. Turn it off again. Just make that back that way. Get you there. That one comes off that way, and accept that. So we got the one that goes up that way. What we need now is the one that comes off this way. Get you there. That can come to there. Not sure if I can tighten this up a little bit. Bring you back to there. Yeah, we've got it a little bit tighter. So we've now got this one coming this way. And of course, we've got the traffic going. So this is the wrong way round. So that needs to go that way. What that is, the traffic coming up here that wants to go that way can go around that way. Now, oops. Get you to there. You can come to there. That means the traffic coming up here that wants to go this way can come up here. The traffic that wants to go that way goes that way. And then what we have is the traffic that wants to go that way. And then you come there and you can come into there. So the traffic coming from here that wants to go that way can go from that path there. Like that. Just accept that. And then what we want is the traffic. This is where we've got to think a little bit. Now the traffic that comes over here that wants to go that way, we're going to want to come off here. Like that. You're going to come. You're virtually opposite that. And you're going to come into there. So the traffic coming over there can come around that way. Nope, don't want that. And we put you there. So that you come, the traffic going that way. And the traffic coming up here, the one that wants to go that way, can come to there. Haha. and you can come that way. So the traffic coming up here that wants to go that way, because this is a right-hand drive, can go this way, and then the traffic that wants to go that way, coming down here, needs to have 1, 2. Nope. Just trim that back a smidge. That back a smidge. You up to there. This is kind of a little bit uneven. Because that's too steep. There's always one that doesn't want to play. Just get you. Oops, no. What I want is you to kind of roughly get into the road there. Get you down to about there. You come into there. Now, the traffic that wants to go that way goes that way. And then the traffic that wants to go that way can go that way. I'll take off F4 for this one. Just oh no, gotta put F4 back on. Ah, it's done it. Hate it when it does that. Okay, we're gonna just have to bring you off a little bit like that. Take you off like that. So, and that one, so traffic, that right? Yeah, the traffic coming down here that wants to go that way will come down here, branch off there, go down there, go that way. You traffic from there wants to go that way, can go that way. Traffic coming across here, they want to go that way, can go around that way. Traffic can go up that way. Yeah, I think that is right. Now, obviously this is quite a big junction, so we'll just trim this back a little bit more on that side. Take off a little bit off of this side. Right. Let's just work out where we're going to put that. What I would like is somewhere we've got right there. We've got a traffic rail line here, so we're probably going to bridge over the rail line there. Get the gravel road. What I'm looking for is road coming out roughly about in that direction. Okay, just leave that so I can see it. And then we'll come over here, pick up this junction. So, thank you, game. And then what we'll do is, right, we've completed the research. I think what we'll do is I want to leave enough space to come to that road there. So if I put this a little bit south this way, maybe just put it about there. And then we can just trim this road back. What's that there? I want that. Not totally happy with that. I think I'll use the proximity. That will come to there. Just accept that. So we've now got a junction here, which we can then maybe it's time to start and just come to there. Not so sure about these roads, but I'll think about that. So we've got a road coming in here, a road coming in here. We've got a nice area to build here. So we can put a residential area in here, which will be a thing. So we'll just accept that. Right, let's clear that out. We've now completed our research. Kind of trying to think of what I want. Fertilizing. Now, trying to. Where's our. It's here, isn't it? How far is it? Let me just check this. I'm kind of thinking we're not ready to do steel. Big monuments, I think we're okay. I'm not worried about the prefabs just at the moment. We've got forest studies here. This could be a quick win. And then that means I won't have to worry about replacing trees. We're not worried about bauxite or uranium at the moment. The other thing that might be useful is fire prevention, because we are spreading out a little bit. Civil infrastructure, residential apartments. I actually quite like the idea of getting a bit of fire prevention going. The private school, what am I clicking on that for? I think we're going to do the basic research for that. Simply because I think this is getting out a bit far, and with winter coming and things like that, we may have a bit of a problem from that perspective. So we're actually getting quite a fair amount of bitumen here. I think we get the forestry going, then we won't have to worry about the trees. Have we actually exported any bitumen yet? What are we on the 24th of June? Not yet. How are we doing? So, right, now we're going to play the game. Let me just go here. Now we've done the research. Now I'm going to try and predict where the resources are going to be. As far as I know, I think I put the oil up here. Oops, just had a quick flash there. I think I put oil up here. And I think I put oil here. Now I know that there's coal and iron in this area, but I'm not too sure. I think the coal could be there. I also think that there's, well, I know that there's coal and iron here, so let's just get rid of the suspense and just see where the coal is. Okay, so I wasn't far out with respect to the coal. Now, one thing I want to emphasize is you look at this map here, and it looks like there's loads and loads of coal all over this area. But as I've already mentioned, that these deposits here are quite low. So for example, this is saying that there's a nice coal deposit here. But I think if we, I don't know, there's not too bad. I'm not exactly sure what the percentage would be there. I'm not expect it to be too high. And then we've got some coal. See, it's only 35% even in this area, so it's not. We're not going to run a major industry from that, but it's got potential. Of course, the big coal industries are like up here. Here, if I kind of zoom out a bit, what you'll see is that got 87% there. So we've got a nice big coal industry just there. This is one of the main production sites. Actually, I don't think there's. I thought there was a lot more coal up here. There's more coal deposits there. I mean, the deposits were actually placed so that you could develop different areas. Iron, actually, that looks pretty good. We got kind of, again, the iron itself is patchy. So, say for example, it's saying that there's iron there, but yeah, there's 26% iron just there. 35%. Again, you're not going to run a major industry from that. How about up this way? Again, 24%. Again, the main deposits are over here. Actually, I don't recall putting them there. Here, 52%, 55%. So really, let's go back to coal. Yeah, so our main iron and steel industry is really here, or this one isn't quite so good. Now comes the big one. Wow. I thought there's a lot more oil up this way. Just double click that. So we got oil all the way over here. And then we've got oil right up in the corner here. Fossil fuel. Zoom in. Yeah, so we got kind of control oil there. Oh, I remember this. This is a bit of a pain because the oil is actually under the water. So effectively that gives us a choice, because if we want the oil here, we're going to have to recover the ground. That's interesting. But you can see the bigger deposits are actually in these valleys, which is going to take a little while to develop. Oil's going to be a bit of a challenge, actually, isn't it? I mean, we got a little patch over here. Which is just here. My instinct is looking at this. I'm actually thinking possibly a small iron and steel industry. Oops, sorry about that. I'm thinking maybe a small iron and steel industry here, but then again, with towns there, it's still going to be quite some distance away. We could put possibly. Should be letting the game run. Maybe going in that direction. We're not going to get major resources until we get out of this area here. I think the main iron and steel production is going to have to be there, but that means it's going to be outside on the wrong side of the river. And I think that gives you an idea of the logistics challenge of this map, that we're going to have to work a little bit harder to get a few things done. But that's the way it is. quite like this junction here. Maybe we need to think a little bit about making the road connection here so that we can start to push out things this way. Okay, what we got here, right? This one, pick up load meat there. And you can unload alcohol and food. I think that's the way it is, isn't it? Yeah. And I think this needs to be a bit higher because I don't think these have got extensive storage. No, this really needs to be up to about 80%. I think what I'm going to need to think about now is actually a meat store. Because these are going to produce meat. And I think we need to consolidate it into a kind of fixed position. Right, let's have a look at that. Meat storage, 350 tons, 16 tons. Warehouse, we've got cold store. We put the meat store about there. Get in there about that. Get the road crew working on that. So we've got that now working. How are we doing over here? Oops. Right, we're putting this together. Still got 185,000, which is good. I think we're at a point now where we can... I'm probably going to need to upgrade this road as well. Where's the fuel trucks? I think what we're going to need is a proper distribution office here for fuel now. So I think what we'll do is we'll put in that as well. Distribution office where I think 6 trucks will be quite adequate. Put a distribution office here. We'll get that built as well. Which we'll put both on them on that as well. Yeah, I think it's time to get rid of this thing. Okay. Okay, speed up a little bit. See if we're making what we're doing economically now. Well, we haven't actually exported any bitumen yet. So where's those fuel trucks gone then? Oh, looks like he's at... Oh, we got a full load of 7.5 tons there, which is current value 1,000 rubles. But 1,000 rubles, 1,000 rubles. I think we may need to think a little bit about all of that. We just had burning off some more hazardous waste. I kind of feel that we need to start finding some way to put together some other capability. So we need that detail done. How's the population going? Got a population 1578. A little bit of alcohol abuse. Food is good. Clothes is good. We've got 513, so we've got nearly 30% higher education. So we're looking good from that perspective. We got 1% unemployment, 7 due to low education. How much space have we got still? We've got a little bit of space for expansion, so we don't need to worry too much about bringing these in just yet. Gravel and concrete. So we're good from that perspective. The education has now settled down a little bit, so we're okay from that perspective. I think this is the mixed waste guy. Now we can do some separation, but I'm not sure if it's going to be worth it, because if I come to here, we've got a junkyard here where we can separate stuff out, but I don't feel that that is going to be particularly that useful, to be honest. This is Nova's mod. You can see it's quite big, and I'm not sure that we're going to get anything from that at the moment. Now, we need some biological waste in here. Because 10% biological waste is not brilliant. You're 20% biological waste, so you're okay. Want to check, make sure all these are gathering whatever the maximum amount of biological waste that they can. What we're not getting here at the moment, this is collecting biological waste. Of course, we've now got this running. What are you producing? 10% biological waste, burnable waste. I'm not feeding it for this. So I think what we need to do is focusing on this area here. Get this done. Need concrete. Then we can get then the workforce that comes here we can put into the gravel processing, and then that means we can then move our construction offices onto gravel, and we can start producing our own gravel, which means we're going to need a couple of excavators out here. Let's just have a look at the excavator situation. New vehicle available. This is only using bulldozers, isn't it? How many excavators we got here? We got 3 excavators. Probably don't need 3 excavators at the moment. We could probably send, I think we'll send one of these to here. No, actually, I'm going to wait just in case it burns down. I can't afford to lose a vehicle. I think what I'm going to need to do is get this finished. So let's have a look at our right. We lost 9,000 last month because of the building, but at the moment this month we're actually making a little bit to begin with. Just let the game run. Right, what I want to do, I'm aware that I'm running out of time. We've still got some crops in here which could be a bit of a problem, so we're not actually kind of producing as much, but at the same time I don't want the game to kind of get really carried away here, because you can see we don't have the workforce. This is something that we're going to need to be careful about. But we still got let's just bring in some more invite some more from the third world. If we bring in another 30 from the third world, they will need to be educated, but we might as well keep spending these dollars because there's no point just sitting on them doing nothing. See, none of these are even close to being ready yet. Let me just see. 84%. Right. 30%. So we're on the 14th of July and we haven't got any fields that are ready to be harvested yet, which is not good, but there's nothing we can do about it. I mean, there's no point pretending. Let's have a quick check on my... What on earth is this? Oh, this is the meat storage, isn't it? How many resources? I think we can afford to build that. Right, build the meat storage. Because if I can sort out the meat from here, and when we can set a parameter for here, that will actually improve our meat exports. So that is good. And how are we doing here? Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there for the storage. I mean, we've got 21 tons of steel, which is going to hurt, but we'll be okay. And then this one needs 27 tons of steel. What we got here? We've got a gas station here, which could be useful. I think we're just come in here. Let's sign it this way. Sign you. I'm going to spend a little bit of gravel building this. It might not work because I don't think the road crew have actually were signed both of them. Because I don't think the road crew has got a bus, so there's no point. Right, so we've now got this is finished. This needs to store quarried stone. Right, now we're in business. So what we need, so I think as a final part of this video is I'm going to steal an excavator from here. And you're going to go there. The gas guys, where are you? You need to deliver fuel to there and there. Make sure 30%, will stay with 30%. Let's make sure these guys have got power. And what I need then is what we got here. Right, I'm going to nick the excavator from here. Which one? It was that one. Because these guys are basically, that's my demolition team. If I might as well use them because they're just sat around doing nothing. Where are you? The rest of these guys are. You're a bus. I could have used you, couldn't I? Right. What I'm going to need is a dumper. Let's see how many dumpers we've got now. We got here. We got an open hole and 2 dumpers there for road construction. How many dumpers have I got in here? You're an open hole. Got more open holes, so gonna have to bite the bullet and buy a couple of dumpers. Oops. We need a couple of dumpers by capacity. Actually by value. We're going to go cheapskate. Now we're not looking for anything that's got we actually no, we'll go by capacity. And what I'm looking for is, it doesn't need to be high speed. What it needs is to be carry capacity. Looks like we're stuck with these. So we got these guys, but they're a bit expensive. These are cheaper, but these are 10 tons. I mean, we could go real. I don't think I really want those. I think if we get 2 of these and just get them into the, and then what we'll have is 1 truck on each one of these depots feeding into here. Make sure it's got power. I think what we're going to have to do is start pushing out the power, and then we can start quarrying the stone, get this finished, get the workforce in here. I think it's time to, what's the first stage of here? Concrete, gravel and asphalt. I think we're, get the road, no construction office selected. I think we'll start delivering some gravel and asphalt into here first, and then we'll turn the other construction crew on it later on. Ooh. Right. Stop production. Heating plant. Okay, that could be an issue, but not at the moment. Quarried stone. Unload quarried stone. I know I'm only starting with 1 truck, but I think to begin with, 1 truck will be sufficient on each one of these. And then we can build up the rest later on. So we get that in there. These have got fuel. They just need trucks in here to get that going. Okay, no workers. You get, so we're getting this all delivered in here. Get this finished. Then we get this finished and this finished. That will allow us to be able to get our gravel going. And then after that, we can start kind of putting things together. Because I could have waited for this and then used the gravel from here. But there's not a lot of gravel needed for that, so it's not that much of a problem. I think I need to change the bus route now. We need to get common workers onto here now. I think we'll rename you 5 points bits drop. So I know it's you. And we'll rename you 5 points port pickup. So I'll just put you in there. Just a final check to see whether any of these fields have actually finished. They're very close, but still need a little bit more before they get started. So this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it interesting. In the next part, we'll see how this harvest works and see whether we get a decent amount of crops before the winter comes in. We'll start focusing more on this area so that we become more and more self-sufficient in construction materials. I think probably, well, the first one will be gravel. I think because we got a wood pitch bitumen there, and then I think what we'll do is we'll work towards the asphalt plant, because that will, well, it'd be the easiest one to do, and then we're just to keep expanding out from there. But until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.